When you postpone the decision, later it will become an emergency. There is a rhythm and I'm control of my day. When I moved abroad, I thought the hardest part would be missing home, missing family. But hardest part that I wasn't expecting was hello guys, good morning. It is 11 a.m. in the morning in Bangkok right now, and I just woke up and I just thought about today why not just make a video and then answer some of the questions that I have been asked before, mainly about organizing my life, working and studying abroad. So I was studying full-time at a business school and then working full-time at an international company, and a lot of my friends asked, why don't you go crazy, organize your life? How do you make sure that you're not missing deadline at the school, attend all the meetings at work? So I thought I would make a video about organizing your life, especially when you're studying abroad or working abroad. When I moved abroad for university, I thought the hardest part would be about, missing home, missing family, food, of course, and then missing friends. And of course, all of them are very, very difficult. But I think for me, the hardest part that I wasn't expecting was just overall of managing everything abroad. You're not just thinking about, what should I eat for breakfast? You have to think about your resident paperwork. You have to think about when your visa gonna get expire. You're thinking about, those, like, all these little things add up. And I have watched so many of my classmates fall apart because they are really smart students, very smart, very hardworking. But then because I think it's because they are things that you miss, little things every day, and then it add up, and then one day it's just so overwhelming, and then you just get crushed. So right, there is this thing that I think we need to understand it's called decision fatigue. Our brain makes about 35,000 decisions every day. Of course, that includes what should we eat for breakfast? What type of outfit should I wear today? And the more decision that we have to make, I think the cognitive function of the brain start to get worn out. And because of that, we cannot make quality choices anymore when it's needed. And even things like when you wake up in the morning, and then you start to think about, when is my class gonna start today? How many classes do I have? And then in my case, I have, how many meetings do I have? Like, which meeting should I fit into the break of which classes? So these are all these new language and system that you are not used to. And I don't think they can even be called stress. I think it could be just your brain, running out of fuel. And so that is why today I'm sharing what I did for the past 4 or 5 years, the habits that I have started building in my first year abroad that took things, off my brain so I could use that energy for the stuff that actually matter. For me, habit number 1 is building daily anchors. And that means the small things that you do every single day, no matter what. And one of them for me was eating the same breakfast every day. So I have eaten the same breakfast for the past, I think, 3-4 years. But of course, I do not recommend this to everyone because I know how tiring and boring it is to eat the same things over and over again. But for me, it really helps me because I know my morning is predictable. I know what's going to happen. And then because of that, my brain doesn't have to work even before the day starts. I think of these daily small anchor like a heartbeat. So which means, when your heartbeat is stable, everything else can function. And when the rhythm is not there, then everything else also feels off a little bit. So for you, I would suggest to have to create some daily anchors, habits that you do every day. It doesn't have to be eating the same breakfast like me. It could be checking the calendar in the morning or checking the news for 5 minutes in the morning. Everything that you do every day, no matter what. And remember that the point is not the activity itself. The point is really telling your brain that there is a rhythm and I'm in control of my day. Habit number 2, living inside your Google Calendar. And this one changes everything for me, because while I was studying abroad, I was studying full time. I was also working full time. And I have to make sure that I do not miss any deadline on both sides. So I put everything in my Google Calendar, and I make everything. For example, deadline for my paper, my meeting times, the time that, for example, other like administrative deadlines such as visa appointment, doctor appointment, even the time where at the end of the week, I have to process everything and cry. I will put it in my Google Calendar. And that one really helped me because, and I will also like color code it so that there's like one color for the school, one for my personal, and then one for the work. When I take a look at the calendar, just with a glance, I will know what will be my focus of the day, my focus of the week. And this habit is beyond just staying organized, because once something lives inside your head, so for example, things like, I have to submit my paper on Tuesday. When something lives inside at the back of your head, it creates background anxiety. Things like, oh, what if you forget? You keep worrying about, oh, what if I forget about this? Or suddenly while you are hanging out with your friend, you remember about this paper deadline that you have to do, and it will give you stress and anxiety. But when you put it in your calendar, your brain doesn't have to do the remembering part anymore, and then it will free up some space for you. Habit number 3, check your email every day. I know this sounds very obvious, but I have seen a lot of my classmates missing scholarship renewal deadline. Yeah, missing, very important paperwork, and then missing their visa appointment and having to pay so many fines for that. All because they don't check their email once a week, or they will check it only when they feel like. And as an international student, your university admin, your visa counselor, your bank, everyone is going to contact you through email. So you have to make it as a daily habit. You don't have to respond to all these email immediately, but you really have to know what is there. And remember that these unread email in your inbox are just decisions that you are postponing to make. And when you postpone the decision, later it will become an emergency. This one is also very, very important to me, because anything that's related to admin work, I think it gives me a lot of stress, because if anything goes wrong, things are also out of my control. That's why this habit is very important for me. And this habit is keeping all your documents in one place, both digital and physical. Create a folder, physically create a binder, put everything, your passport, your visa pages, your residence certificate, your passport photo, your ID photo, your degree transcript, and maybe like even some document from high school. And also lease agreement, the meter bills that you have paid before. Because every time that you need one of these documents, it always comes at an emergency. And then the worst time is to find out that, you don't know where you find it, and you are standing at an immigration counter, and then they require you to have your residence certificate, resident permit, and then that is the worst time, and it gives you a lot of stress that is very hard to recover from. Keep all your documents in one place. It will take you just an afternoon of your day, but it will save you a lot later. And another habit, make your own deadline for admin and documentation. This is especially for studying abroad part, especially as an international student. And this is also one thing that I think people has warned me a lot before I move abroad. In my case, in Thailand, we have there are also a ton of administrative work that I have to do. So for example, DM30, when I move into a new apartment, or 90 days report. So every 90 days, I have to report to the government where I am, and then visa extension. So in your country, it's going to be different. And you shouldn't think of the deadline on the actual deadline. I will say, in my case, I will always make sure that the deadline for this, let's say like visa extension, is due on a specific date. My deadline will be 2 weeks before that. I will set my deadline 2 weeks before the actual date, and it have saved me a lot, because sometimes document takes longer than expected. Offices are closed. People just have other priority. So, and the consequences are real if you miss any of this. So give yourself time. Every document you need as an international student, list them, find their renewal date, and give yourself 2 weeks buffer time in your calendar. And yeah, just put it in your calendar, and then it will save you a lot later. And the last habit, this is going to be about finances. Track your expense and then know when you have to pay. Living abroad, it means that you have to manage your money in a new system, a new banking system, a new currency that you're not familiar with before. So list out everything that you have to pay every month. So for example, your rent, your meter bill, your water bill, and then any other subscription or insurance premium that you have subscribed before. Because late payment means service cat, there will be fines, and then the worst is they could have some complication with your residency status. So I keep a simple monthly list about things that I am supposed to pay, and I will go through that at the start of the month, and I'll make sure that I pay them online. Yep.